Good evening, one and all. Welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022. On occasion of World Social Work Month and World Health Month 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and also International Conference on Social Work and Sciences towards One Health and Sustainable Development 2022 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. We welcome you all to the international webinar series. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of inviting.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Today we have with us Mrs. Padma Anil Kumar. She is a psychological counselor with over 30 years in the field of parent, child and relationship counseling. She has masters in social work from Madras School of Social Work, and she is the Honorable General Secretary of ICSW. She also runs a counseling and training center, Sitara, reached out to people in various walks of life, over thousands of people. We invite you, ma'am. We welcome you once again to this wonderful platform. And we thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us. We invite you to take our session on project planning for empowerment of women in urban communities.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So in today's session, what I'm trying to address was actually related to what I was working on right now. What we find is that in today's world, when we go into the community, there's a lot of lethargy with regard to, when we come up to say empowerment, there's a lot of different explanations of empowerment that's coming up. Money alone as a criteria for empowerment is there in some groups. While on the other hand, we as NGOs or as trained professional social workers, we are thinking of so many other things. So I wanted to bring to this platform a discussion more than just a lecture. I want each one of you to participate. I can see that many of you are already working in the field and they're already there. So I think a lecture, more than a lecture, of course, I'll go into the PowerPoint, but more than a lecture, I would request each one of you to put on your videos and actually interact and explain to all of us, in this group right now, as to what is true empowerment and what and how can we actually plan a project for urban community. When it is the rural community, there's a lot that they have not got because of lack of media or education or something like that. There is something that we can always give to the rural communities, what I can see, because I don't know the rural community as much as I know the urban community. And whenever I see programs that are being done, like say organic farming and things like that, I try to bring it to the urban community. And there are no takers. There are no takers for a lot of things. That is, I work in the slum. The slum population is around 50,000 people. And of them, around 30 to 35,000 are women and children. And when we go out there with programs for women and children, they come there even now. When we are saying we're a social work organization, we want them to come, learn, use it, feedback, go and do it, conduct it, do whatever they can. They come to an extent for an organized gathering. They will come all dressed up and pretty, and they want to have fun. There's a crowd for that. But when we start classes, unless it is completely free and they are getting the benefit, then it's irregular and things like that. We wonder how exactly this planning has to be done, how a project can be completely planned, executed, and finally how it should be evaluated, what is the assessments we have to have, and ultimately, are we really empowering women in the urban setup? So that is my topic. I want a feedback. I request. I think people are leaving the group. Maybe it's not as interesting as they thought it would be, or something like that. I don't know. But Dr. Hemalata, Mary Florence, Nilish, Panchal, Sunanda, and Virendra Kumar Thakur, and Dr. Ravindra, please let us interact and clarify for each other what more can be done in the field, and what and how project planning can be done. And that is what I'm trying to bring in. If there's any other comment that you want to say. Yes, Mary, you raised your hand, so please do speak up and tell me what you think about it.
Actually, women empowerment is done through education. If you give her education to women only, she can achieve so much.
Correct.
There's a saying now: if you educate a man, it's
Women, yeah.
if you educate a woman, it's for the family.
Entire family. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
but even a small SLC standard girl, no, if there is difficulty for money in the house, she'll go out for work and she'll tell her husband, because she wants to do so much for the family. If she is given an opportunity, education, but many places denied, because my own friends are denied of education. What education MSW I got, my friends did not get, because they got the 21, 22, they told us it's marriage age, you get married. And now some of my friends, they're diverse and they are living in little bit crisis situation. So if they had the education, they would have taken a better decision in married life also, I feel, because they did not.
That's a nice thought. Mary, thank you for the thought. It's a wonderful thought that education will empower them, and I want to discuss that too. That's exactly why I took up the topic.
And if you are given a chance to work, if you work, you see the outside world, how your people are working, and you get a chance to interact, so you know what is right, wrong. When you're going into family life, if you face problem, oh, my colleague is also faced, so you'll get an idea. But we are denied of work. Many people don't get the opportunity to work. First, education only is tough, then working is secondary only. That's my concern.
Okay, so yeah, true. It is education is primary, and after education, then the next thing would be that they should work. They should become economically independent. So let's just see what my thoughts are, and then I want each one of you to think about it. Probably look at what I'm presenting and actually go against it if possible, and give me perspectives that will actually rehash the meaning of empowerment from just being economic independence to being so many other things. Because as a psychologist, what I have seen of the community is that if you do a lot of work, and if your work is good enough, I mean, the quality of your work is good, you will get money. But why is it not reaching there is my question. Why are people still being, even if they know a trade, like supposing I teach you stitching, why can't you go to a higher level? What is missing between learning a skill or educating yourself and getting completely empowered?
Main problem is, if anybody is taught also, we should take effort in developing. We should keep in mind, I should become.
So that is motivation. Yes, that is motivation. That is, the inner calling. And that is what I want to really, when you say, when a project planning, it's not enough just to look at, what is my project? I want to teach 20 people or 100 people or 700 people tailoring. That is not the project planning alone. There should be a little more in-depth study of the individual, who here is the woman and typical of the culture within the urban community. That is what we are going to see today. Okay. So Mary, can I start? I mean, if you have something else to say? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start. So when we talk about women in the urban setting, what are we looking at? Okay, so we are looking at a domicility. Domicility means where are they staying? So where in India, when we say urban women who will need a kind of empowerment, who will they be? Is it only the slum woman? Is it the woman who is staying in a particular colony? Is it because they are in a colony? The domicile aspect, as in I am in a neighborhood of etc. kind of people, so I am limited. So I need empowerment. What are the factors that actually define the woman as needing to be empowered? Is what this particular slide that I've presented is, I just want us all to think about, are we actually, what kind of women are we looking at? And are we ourselves, I mean, as women today, as myself, I'm saying that I am educated. I have a certain amount of economic independence, and I'm able to pay for maybe my own living, maybe. If that is true, then am I empowered? Is that enough of an empowerment? Let's discuss that. And that's what I'm saying. Is it the locality that sometimes curbs the woman's empowerment? Education. Ma'am just now told that if you're educated, you'll be empowered. Is that empowerment enough? Because I know so many children, youngsters who studied medicine, who studied engineering, and are not able to use that information, are not empowered to have economic independence. They're still they get good husbands because of their degree. They get good, the good proposals come to them, and that's why they're educated. So what went wrong there? We gave them education, but they are staying at home. They do not want to work. They are looking after their children very well, agreed maybe. But the point is that empowerment? I'm not saying that is wrong or right. Definitely, it is a beautiful thing to have a wonderful mother at home, a homemaker, a complete person who's so very efficient and runs the place very well, is this administrator, is a loving companion, it's amazing. But is that empowerment for the woman? Is that enough? Because I'll tell you why I'm saying these things, because in my daily interaction with children, and not only in the slum, in my psychological counseling sessions, I am feeling that there is a whole generation of youngsters who are married, who are educated, but are completely unempowered. And they are trying to come back and say, ma'am, I want to get out. I want to do this. So do you think I should divorce? Do you think? And they're all just around 30s. They're in their 28, 29, 30, maybe 5 years of marriage, 6 years of marriage. Some of them are 35, and they're saying, I'm feeling useless. Now I'm feeling good for nothing. My child has started going to school. Now I want to do something. And there is a craving, but they're saying, but I won't be allowed to. I won't be able to. The work-life balance will not happen. So somewhere beyond education, there is something more we have to give our women. Something more we have to support our women with in order to become a lot more empowered, is what I want to say. So domicility, where we live, education. Yes, Mary, I will give you a chance in 1 second. I'll just finish a few and then we'll move on. Financial status. I know very, very well of women, celebrity women who are exceptionally rich. I mean, they have the best cars, they have huge houses, and they are doing a job that they like doing, meaning but then they come to me for counseling and they break down and they cry and they say they are emotionally completely in smithereens. They are not empowered. They're saying that we're feeling hollow. We're not able to express our real self. We are fake. We are unhappy. We are unsuccessful in being a human being. I cannot have a relationship. I don't have a relationship. So are they empowered? Just because they are earning maybe even crores. I have 2 or 3 clients who are earning in crores monthly. One of their events, I don't want to say which event, one of their events that they take part in, when they take part in it, they get 2 crores, 3 crores, but they're still not happy. They are saying that they are not empowered. So what is it? If the domicility, if the education, if the financial is not working for them, then what is? Married women, unmarried women, a lot of, because of this, a 28-year-old, 29-year-olds are now saying, no, we're not ready for marriage. So if you're not ready for marriage, are you unempowered? A lot of communities asking them, what happened to them? Why didn't they get married? Aren't they good enough? Is that the issue? Socio-cultural, we're talking about certain communities. There are some communities that do not allow the woman to be the way they want to be. They'll say, no, you have to be, it's a good thing, but they say you have to be a doctor because in your family, they're all doctors. that is a society that sort of has put a label to success and said that doctor is equal to success. Happy is not equal to success. It's about doctor being success. So the definition of success is probably empowerment, is it? It's a question I want to ask. Is success equal to empowerment, or is happiness equal to empower? Is satisfaction? My generation of people, I mean, we were born in the 60s and 70s. We were told that you have to be satisfied. You should be satisfied. We use the word compromise when we talk about marriage. It's an adjustment. Today's world is not talking about that. Even in the slum, I am seeing women who came and say, why should I listen to him? Why should I do what my parents want me to do? Why? This opposition is letting them, making them, fiercely go away. Some of them are juveniles and they're fighting. They've dropped out from school. They are into, things that are not supposed to be legal. And yet they will argue and say, why can't we do what we want to do? And they will quote some activity that is okay, that is moneyed, that is this thing. So socio-culturally also, there is a huge question as to what is empowerment. Dependency factors. How many people are there that they look after? Who do they look up? So now ma'am said we should educate them, and that will give them a lot of empowerment. How can we educate them when their communication skills, I'm going to the other side of the column, communication skills are so low. They're not able to speak out loud. I've been trying to teach them different aspects of life and things like that, life skills, activities, whether they're tailoring, whatever. They won't open their mouth, they won't speak, they won't say, but they are educated. They are BCom graduates, they are BSc graduates, but they are not employable. They are not able to express what they want, how they want, when they know so many things. Obviously they know because they passed exam, and I see their certificates, it says 70, 75%, 80%. They should be fine is what I think. But if they're not empowered to speak up, to express, to communicate, then am I doing a good job by just getting them a BCom? Is that textbook information enough? If they're not employable, then how will I call them empowered? So, and they will have 10 people in the house. Why are they not talking? Namma veetla yaarkittayum pesakudadu. Ipdida oru ponna irundha ipdida irukonu. So where are we reaching? We're going to a different dimension, literally a different dimension of empowerment. Age factors. In our house, we can't talk. We are too small. We are too old. I have so many women who are in the 50s and 60s who are absolutely, they might have been anybody in the world. They may have worked all their life. Today, their children dictate upon them. I have one particular client, a lady who's about 54, 55 years old. Her daughter is now beginning to work, and she is, I think, past medicine or some Ayurvedic medicine kind of a thing. And she's working, and she told her mother, just shut up. You don't know anything. But the mother has been working in a bank as a clerk and has educated this girl completely. She's educated enough to have been working for 35, 40 years. And the child tells the mother, just shut up. Is that woman empowered when she can't support or oppose her daughter? When the daughter has taken over her life and has dictated things, is she empowered enough to say, this is enough, don't talk like that? What happened to her? That means they need empowerment in parenting. They need empowerment to understand, to establish good relationships, stronger relationships. So when I say dependency, are we emotionally dependent? Are we financially dependent? The dependency factors sort of seal our mouth, seal our expression, seal our dreams, seal everything of a woman. So that is becoming an issue. The age is becoming an issue. You keep quiet. You're not of my generation. Vocational skills. What skills are, so if I don't, during COVID, we saw a lot of educated people who got thrown out of jobs. Women from in those, because they were all maids or they were whatever in the slum area, it was the urban population there. They were thrown out of their jobs. And then they say, ma'am, I don't know anything else. I don't know, what will I do? I cannot work. I can't do anything else. No, you learn something. Immediately they're saying, no, they can't handle it. They're not able to do it because they said they have no vocational skill. They have no. So I took some girls who have finished their BCom and they were sitting at home. I said, come on, let's write some content together. Let's put things together. Let's give the world content. And then we can, there are so many freelance sites where they want content. Let's start. Ma'am, we cannot write English. We cannot write. Then I said, okay, write in Tamil. No, ma'am, andamari Tamil theriyadu, ma'am. Pesathu thaan theriyum. So we haven't given them skills. We have taught them, they've become graduates, they've become whatever, but the skill to actually do something, the real skill is not there. It is just an overall patch up of lot of things that, like a subject, like a paper, like an answer paper that we've given them. So that is what is irking me when I'm project planning. I'm thinking, oh, if I teach them tailoring, is it enough? If I do this, is this enough? So each and every project that we as social workers put down, when we say we want to teach them fishing, is just the tutorial, is just the activity enough, or do we need more, is what this particular thing is. And then looking at the other side, it's emotional aspects, it's communication. I just discussed it. Networking, who are they in touch with? Many of the boys, little boys, and some of the girls. I recently met a girl who was all of 17. She was actually going to college. She just started going to college. And when during COVID, she was at home. And in 3-4 months, after I spoke to her, she said, "Ma'am, I'm feeling useless. I'm feeling good for nothing." So I was counseling her. And I realized that the girl said that she had a relationship with a guy, but she said that it didn't proceed. But I found out later that she was pregnant, and she was 5 months pregnant, and because of which I couldn't even get her aborted. And she was not married, she was studying, but she had to drop everything because, and then when I asked her, what is this? So she said, "I didn't know that this will lead to pregnancy. I didn't know what I did would lead to pregnancy." I mean, I'm sure she was faking it. I was so angry, I was so irritated, but we are counselors, we are social workers. We are there to probably support their wrongdoings in some way. I was not sure. And I thought, oh my God, what did I do with her? I thought she was studying her graduation. She'll have some, I didn't educate her. I didn't empower her to understand relationships. I didn't empower her to understand that this is what happens to the individual when she is not being able to understand the aspect of sex or relationship with another person. So she was, I felt I was, I thought I was looking after her. I thought I was helping her out of her, helplessness and wanting to do something in life and things like that. And I realized that I hadn't empowered her enough. So the network that she was with, who is she with? Who are her friend circle? Who is the boy? Who are the boys? Who are the children? Who are the other people associated with them? Then their own personalities. Like I told you before, that quiet child who's probably a 70%, 85% in BCom or BSc or whatever, but is not able to talk, is a very introverted person, refuses to step out of the house, knows everything. Did we empower them with technological skills? Did we empower them to just become a freelance writer? The course does not do it. I tried that particular child that I'm talking about. I had helped her get admission into a college. I had put her on to the college. The college she used to come and show me her report card. She would talk to me and that was okay. But when she passed her degree and I said, okay, come now, let's do your CV. Let's see what we can put on your CV. What have you done? What is this thing? I know it was COVID. Let's write it. She had no tech knowledge. She couldn't create a CV and I didn't know where to employ her. So beyond education, it is definitely employability skills that we have to add on as an empowerment tool as a child. Then today's generation, there's one lot of arrogance that each one of them have. And what do they tell us when we ask them something? When we say, come on, let's do this. Can we do this? Would you like to do this? They'll own the sacred word is, I don't like it. And if they don't like it, they won't do it. When I look back at our lives, at that point, probably we couldn't change channels. We didn't have the remote in our hands. So we sort of, even if we didn't like the advertisement, we watched the advertisement. We tuned ourselves to accepting things that we did not like so much. But our children nowadays, they have the remote in their hand. If this is not nice, switch. So their mind is always searching for better options. Their interests are what they're interested in. They will not do something they're not interested in. They won't go through. For them, everything is boring. We don't want to do it. We don't like it. It's not it's not our cup of tea. It's not my kind of thing. And even clothing, everything it's not my kind. So even when somebody gifts you something, they keep saying these things. And so interest has become, did we not empower them by giving them varied interest? Did we not empower them by giving them the ability to persevere, for grit, perseverance? And if they lose one, like let's say I'm interested in something, I don't make it big in that. then am I able to? So empowerment there becomes resilience. Empowerment there becomes like training them to jump back into something, even though I've not succeeded in it. Can I do it? Can I do it differently? Can I try it out again? This, if they don't get one thing, then it's the end of their life. I don't want to live anymore. This guy left me, so I don't want to live anymore. Whatever it is, the aspect of interest is becoming like the paramount. Yeah, I don't like it. Why should I do it? I will never do it. So they're losing out on life because of their interest. And like I told you earlier, tech knowledge. So each and every time we see children, youngsters and women generally, they'll say, I didn't do it because appo enak pudikala. I didn't want to study at that time. Now I'm not educated. Now what do I do? So should we have another set of just tech knowledge alone so that they can sit at home, they can work on this? Even because of COVID, we were all doing online classes. Many of the parents didn't know how to sit down with the child and create lessons for them or anything like that. And if they did know tech knowledge, it would have really empowered them much, much more. Yes, Mary, you had a question and you raised your hand. I wanted to complete the slides so to give you the chance to talk. I hope, do you have a question? Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
you told many of the girls they have done education, but they're not able to work because they got married. My two friends went into that situation only. They couldn't handle they liked their works so much, but they both are Brahmins. They got into a very traditional family because
Family,
of
yes.
and because that they filed their papers in court.
I know.
Now they are waiting for divorce. Like actually, both are brilliant because they don't want to give up their job. They're so stubborn in the house. They said, "You leave the job." So they told, "My career is important." They got married to a very good husband's assistant professor, and one is associate professor. I don't want to mention name, but and now they are telling they are filed the papers in court. That
file their paper because it's not worth it. They feel that it's a marriage without where their identity is not understood, it's not respected, it's not required. Now that is a debate again. Is that empowerment, that I don't want a relationship? Now for in that community, see this, there is one very tricky thing that one girl came and asked me this. In fact, she said, ma'am, I am not going to fall in love, but I don't want a person who will not let me work. So when you say like that, see, now if I don't want to fall in love, I won't find a person. I'm not the type who will go and smile or talk to people. And so then who are we leaving the marriage part to? But I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to have a business. I want to work. I want to be able to have a house. All that is fine. So you want all that. You want to work. Understandable. So then who will look out for you for that husband, that kid, that family? Who will look out? Usually it is parents. Okay. So if it is parents, then parents cannot simply go out of the family and say, anybody come and marry my daughter. We can't say like that. So when they look, it will invariably within their own community, their own conservative level or their own modern level or whatever, it will be similar. You cannot expect the parents to have this kind of an outlook of a modern outlook and all that. But the children, they're saying, isn't a good thing. I'm not falling in love. I don't want to marry the person. I mean, I'm not going to look out for a good person. My parents must look after, but when the parents look out, they must look out for people who will be broad-minded. But how do you know this broad-mindedness? Obviously, when they're getting married, say, yeah. And if they don't allow, then what do you do? So there's always this, I'm recently working with a lot of women who want to divorce even after 25 years after marriage, because during COVID, they suddenly realized that they cannot stay whole day with their husbands. Or the husbands realize they can't stay whole day with their wives. They wanted, they want that. They say, how whole day if I stay with this person? And because of that, they have realized all the bad habits of each other and they've decided to divorce. And that's after 20 years of marriage. So they're saying when he was going to work, it was all fine. But now that he's sitting at home the last 2 years, I hate this person. He's so mean. He's so bad. He's so rude. I want to leave him. And I was surprised, what was it that made it run for 20 years? Can't you look for those things that were required? But many people have been saying that. So when you talk about empowerment, education has empowered us in the way that we can earn, we can work. Correct.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, please speak.
Sorry for disturbance, ma'am. Sorry
Not
for the
all,
interference.
Not at all, sir. I want interference. Please give it.
Actually, I am a research scholar.
Okay.
I am searching for the only for Indian seafarers for in the sea-oriented research only.
Okay.
Actually, I ask 3 questions, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
First question, how to relieve for the woman's stress life?
Okay. How to
Second
relieve the
question,
woman's stress. Okay.
yeah, how to relieve for the woman's stress life?
Okay.
Yeah. Second question, how to reduce in the human rights for the woman side only? How to reduces human rights for the human lifestyle? I think I mentioned the child woman, and then middle age woman, and then lower age woman. It's all are affected for the all are affecting for the some other people oriented lifestyle. How to reduce this? That is the second
How to
question.
reduce stress you're asking? தமிழ்ல
Yeah,
கேட்கலாம்
first one is
பரவாயில்ல தமிழ்ல கேட்கலாம்.
இல்ல அவங்களுடைய மன அழுத்தத்தை எந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து அதை எப்படி வந்து கண்ட்ரோலா கொண்டு வர்றது ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது வந்து அவங்க வந்து பாதிக்கப்படுற விஷயம், முக்கியமான ஒரு விஷயம் தமிழ்நாட்டிலையும் சரி இந்தியா லெவல்லையும் நடக்குது. அந்த அந்த முக்கியமான விஷயத்துல பாதிக்கப்படாத அளவுக்கு அவங்களை மேனேஜ் பண்றது.
ஓகே.
மூணாவது அவங்களுடைய வே ஆஃப் ஒர்க்கிங் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்ல வந்து என்ன மாதிரி அவங்களுக்கு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனா அவங்க இருந்தா, அதாவது எந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா அவங்க சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனா ஆவாங்க, அதாவது உமனுடைய ஒர்க்கிங் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்ல எந்த மாதிரி இருந்தா அவங்க சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனா ஆவாங்க. இந்த 3 கேள்வி எனக்கு ஆன்சர்
வேணும். சரி, this is actually not a part of the இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற டாபிக்ல அது வராது. பட் திஸ் இஸ் a very very important question. என் சைக்காலஜிக்கல் பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல இருக்கும்போது அது கண்டிப்பா ஒரு பெரிய क्वेश्चन தான். அது நான் கண்டிப்பா ஆன்சர் பண்றேன். I have only 3 slides. இது முடிச்சிட்டு நான் அதுக்கு டீடைலா நான் சொல்றேன். ஓகே, உங்க ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பத்தியும் how to manage it at அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி work life balance எப்படி எடுத்துட்டு வரணும், என்ன கொடுத்தா என்ன பண்ணா அவங்க work life balance ஒரு சந்தோஷமா ஆகும்ன்றது அது I will explain at the end of the session. Okay, I didn't get your name, sir. I didn't get your name, sir.
Yeah, I am M Saravanan, madam. Chennai.
Sorry, sir. Okay, M Saravanan, நான் பேசுறேன், அது பத்தி பேசுறேன் கடைசில. Okay, we'll finish the topic அப்புறம் பேசிக்கலாம். Okay, so when we talk about empowerment for women and project planning for them, what we have to see is, first of all, this is the things that we need to look at and understand and document first before we start off. So
sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
slides are not visible, ma'am.
Slides are not visible? Oh, okay.
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, but I've shared. There's something wrong.
So we are seeing a blank screen.
You're seeing a blank screen? Okay. Now you can't. I'll just reshare once more. Actually, it's live. I don't know what happened. Oh God. Slides are not to be seen. I think I'll share the slide.
Please continue, ma'am. I can see you.
No, see, you can see me, but I don't think you can see the slides. That's what he's telling. He's saying that he's not able to see the slides. So I was just trying what we can do about it. 1 second. There's some problem here.
It again, ma'am.
I'm trying. It's not happening. I don't know why. I could see it. I thought it was being shared, and said also it's being shared. Can I just get out and then get back in or something like that? I'll try that again.
Yeah, ma'am.
The whole screen has become narrow. Not able to do it. Wow. Okay, I think I'll just continue, and then I'll just forget the slides, and if it's not being seen, I don't want to waste time. But it'll be nice if you all can see it.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, 1 second.
Maybe after that, session, you can share the slides.
Yeah, I'll share the slides. Okay. So when we talk about, now can you see the slides by any chance? No?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Not visible, ma'am.
Not visible. 1 second. Can you see the slide now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then I'll keep it in small only. I think the slide share, the big screen is not working. Okay. So when we talk about this was the first thing that I was talking about, women in urban community, all the aspects that I discussed with you earlier. Okay. And the second was the aspects that what are we supposed to look at when we are starting our planning for a project for women. Please understand, these are what I explained earlier only, but I've just put it into it. It is a flow chart of what all we have to see and how one affects the other. Okay, so when you're looking at tradition and ethnicity, so it's not about who you are, like say, okay, you're a Brahmin. It's not about you're just a Brahmin, not that aspect, but more than that. As a Brahmin, what is your, how much ethnic are you? Because there are modern Brahmins and there are very conservative Brahmins. So it's not enough to say that it is just one jati or one madam. That doesn't make so much difference when you look at empowerment. You have to see what is that immediate environment like. So are they a patriarchal setup? Are they a matriarchal setup? Now I also work in Kerala a lot, and there when I was working with the rural women there, I found the rural women as a personality, as a individual, they're much more vocal. You can say it is education, but actually it is not, because all of them in the name education, they've only passed class 10. Okay, it's not like they're all educated or anything like that, but they've passed class 10 and they're coming to our as housemaids and all that. But even then, they're very tuned to society. They've been told about everything. There's a lot of awareness among them. Their rights they know. So when you talk about patriarchal setup versus matriarchal setup, this is because a lot of Kerala is matriarchal. And so there's a lot of power that the women generally have in their households. As a result, they are the ones choosing what they hear, what they talk, what kind of situation. So as a result, they are very aware because they have the opportunity to be aware. So their women's education, the predominant discrimination, what is this? This is what I want to say, that in a matriarchal setup, the discrimination is very minimal. As a result, the woman feels that she is good, and so there's higher self-esteem. There's a higher thing that I can and I will, and there's a kind of status that the woman enjoys is a little higher. Though you all know that the highest number of dowry deaths is in Kerala only. Is in Kerala, and there are a lot of suicides that are happening. Yes, women are not completely, I mean, they're not emancipated or they're not highly empowered or anything like that, but there is a good group of people who are able to, because they're matriarchal, because the women's society is slightly, they give that extra importance to the woman in certain areas, certain things. So when we are planning our projects, that is what we have to see. How is it within the household? How is it in society? What is the predominant ways that they are discriminated? This is the middle line that you see in this slide. Women's education, predominant discrimination, hindrance and impedance. This is what the importance has to be. What are this, like ma'am said, one girl, lady who is a Brahmin. What is the real thing? That is, you should not work. They might, give them a lot of gold. They may give them a lot of education, but all that stops at marriage. So marriage as an institution is probably the biggest hindrance for many of the women. So understanding what, for some people, it is children. It is the childbirth. For some people, it is they are taken to a very in an area. I remember, many of the women who studied social work, and those days, that is my days, many of my classmates and the others who went to certain other states where social work was not practiced as a profession. So it was only a charity-based thing. So they said, why do we need a professional? Why should we pay you? We don't. So a lot of my classmates didn't get a job at that point of time, and they said, social work is just, you go do social work, meaning you go and serve the society without any pay. It's not a job. It's not you don't need money for it. So that could be the hindrance. So what is the hindrance? And when you take all this into consideration, one important aspect is you have to see the value. So he was just asking, what are the stress factors for women? How do they make it work? I have a community. This community, though they are from the east of India, they have spread all over Tamil Nadu in a big way. And their primary activity is becoming, they are like the pawnbrokers, and that community that works with as pawnbrokers, as people who lend money to other people. I deal with their children. A lot of the schools that I go to, the children are there. So one child came and asked me, ma'am, why are you going on saying truth all the time? You're saying that we should be truthful. So if I tell lies and then take away somebody's job or something like that is that I didn't understand. I said, why are you talking about such things? What happened? Tell me more about what's happening. So then she said, ma'am, you are going on saying truth is good, be it have high integrity and all that. I want to know why my father and all don't have integrity. And it was a very shocking question because the child is a very quiet, introverted child who came up to me and asked this. So I felt that there was some kind of a trauma in the child and asked the child to talk. And then I realized there was a clash in their value systems because at school we were talking about high integrity, we were appreciating leadership skills, we were appreciating compassion, we were appreciating sympathy, empathy, etc., etc. And this child said, my father comes home and tells me, today I have got 30 sovereigns of gold. You know that lady whose husband died the other day? She is not able to pay back. She told me that she can't pay back. So now she's signed the papers and she gave me 30 sovereigns of gold. She's telling, ma'am, I'm feeling that, isn't he taking away that lady's wealth? But when I asked him like that, he got angry with me, but he also explained that that is his job. That is his job and he has to take it away. And that lady did not give back the money, so it is his. But ma'am, how is that possible? How is that correct? How is that appropriate? And this child is always thinking and asking me these questions. Very often she comes and sits in my room and she says, ma'am, I'm feeling very confused because what is happening there? She will never be empowered until her value system becomes satisfied. So there the stress is what? If I was working, if she's a working woman and the bosses are completely valueless, can you see the stress, the burden to work in that place? So this girl is a very, very timid girl. And she said, Mom, I'm not able to, I can't respect my father anymore. Imagine a child of just class 8 wants to say that I cannot respect my father anymore. See the trauma that the child would be going to, whom to trust, whom to love, whom to communicate with. And that person requires empowerment of a different nature, where her value systems have to be strengthened. What is her reverse response to these people around her who are not having that appropriate behavior pattern or not having that appropriate value system? How does she accept them? How does she respect them? How does she interact with them? What is her pattern of being able to respect father, mother, everybody for having such kind of value system? So value systems sometimes clash with us, with our empowerment aspect. Social expectation. Now this girl, for example, she is of that community who will probably marry and have to settle down. Her husband also may be somebody in the same field who will be doing the same kind of job. Will she be able to actually respect that person? Will she be able to feel that this is the man of my life? Will she be able to give him what she wants, what he wants? Will she be happy mothering his child, being the mother for his child? Lots of questions that I wondered about that child when I was trying to work with her for counseling and teaching her, what can you do? How can you create a social impact? What is the outcome? So for me, on that day when I started counseling for her, values, connecting her to right value systems and teaching her how to work on our values, as respect as one of the values for other people, empathy as one of the values of other people, how to accept unconditionally other people. That I found was empowerment, because she's in a very good school, her parents are very well off, she will complete education. But for her, the empowerment was acceptance of unconditional positive regard for family, unconditional acceptance of love and affection given by the family, besides whatever they are doing in their job, besides whatever outer world they have to do. Even then I will love my father, even then I will love my mother. This is what I will talk to them. I may not agree with them, but I will still be who I want. That is, my value system says that I will help them out, I will look after them because they brought me out. Like that became the tool that I used for her empowerment. So when that's again, those are the reasons why I told Mary ma'am that this is the topic I would like to do, because I'm working in depth to see whether we are really empowering women, and that's why we take this up. So when we plan our projects, going back to the topic itself, when we plan our projects, we benefit. Are we reaching them? Are we just awareness creation, telling them that this is what you want to do? Like he was asking, what are human rights? What are my rights? If I just explain that, will we empower them? Will I just create, I will tell them everything, it will reach them, they will understand it. Is that enough? Are we going to do something that benefits us? Now, this is clashing with our social work ideology, where we say it is not just giving them fish, it is about teaching them how to fish, or whatever, if you want to use it like that. The analogies for that would be that, are we just benefiting them, giving them some kind of, a training and saying, okay, you learn shorthand, you will be able to go work in this, in the High Court, or you learn this, you can work as a secretary, you learn this, you can learn. Is that just beneficial? So many times empowerment has become the benefit aspect and not true empowerment. So we either, when we reach them, when we educate them, when we give them knowledge, when we give them advocacy rules, when we give them this public awareness programs that we as social workers do, that reaches them, correct? When we give them a skill, or when we teach them, or we educate them, we are benefiting them. We're helping them to benefit from it. The project becomes a benefit activity. But true empowerment, when does it become true empowerment? That is what I want you to all to pay attention to. And that is what is my conclusion for today, literally. It is strengthen the ability of women to make strategic life choices and to put those choices into action, to actually choose who I want to be, to choose what I want to do. Should I, if I listen to my husband, if I want to listen to my father, if I want to listen to my boss, if I want to agree to do whatever I want, if I want to wear clothes that are not so formal, if I want to wear casual clothes, they should be able to strategize. That is, they should know whether it is good, bad, whether it is beneficial, non-beneficial, whether it is, so all that you can reach them. All that information you can reach them, you can benefit them, you must give them the skills, etc. But ultimately, only when they are able to make that strategic choice between positions, between situations that they come to on a daily basis, only then are we really empowering women. So enhancing women's decision-making power in households, communities, addressing key areas of disempowerment. Where are they not allowed to? Like we had lots of the social workers fighting against the local alcohol shop or the liquor shop, or things like that. We had so many communities that did that. Now, that did it empower them enough, or did we stop alcohol? And so what happened? What happened to the men and the family? So when you're working at grassroots level, you'll realize that will do one thing but may not do another thing. That will make the men more angry. They got more beaten up in some households. I met some people like that also. So they were like, then she came and said, ma'am, எப்படியாவது குடிச்சிட்டு போட்டோம் மேம், என்னை அடிக்காம இருக்கா, வெளியே போனா போதும், என்னை விட்டுட்டு போனா போதும், இது குடிக்காம இருக்கும்போது என் கூடவே இருக்காங்க, என்ன திட்டிட்டே இருக்காங்க. So if that is the situation, is that, my God, that is a torture again for the woman. So are we, by removing something, by reducing something, by doing something, we have to make sure when we are project planning, what is it that will empower the individual woman to take decisions such that she can make her choice and make her life a better one. So final indicator would be what? Women's decision-making power has increased. There's whatever it is, whether it is selling something in the house, buying something into the house, in using up. Today we will have this food, today we'll have that food. Is it the woman deciding? Is it the man deciding? It can be the man deciding, nothing wrong about it, but it shouldn't be negative for the family. It should, like we said, if you educate a woman, the whole family will be benefited. So similarly, when a consumption is happening, when a particular product is being bought, it should be such that the whole family is upping their savings, they're improving their, whatever their plans for, their dreams, whatever that they want in the future, it should be beneficial for that particular family. So outcomes associated with what disempowerment would be what? Gender-based violence, time burden, that, this is not there, that is not there, and completely suppressing the individuality of the woman, making her useless and sitting at home. Don't do that, don't do this. And all she does is probably just waste her life looking at the TV, because She would have cleaned the house. The house will be small, especially I'm talking more about the urban setup like the slum or areas like that, where underprivileged women, women who are not economically stronger, they are just, even though they are not economically strong enough, they are not willing to come out of the house. They have got into a comfort zone where they watch TV, they watch serial, and they sit at home. And they do not want to. So even if I try to motivate them, they're coming and telling me, ma'am, ma'am. So it's become a comfort zone, especially these last 2 years. Ma'am, ma'am. It's always parvala, no problem, ma'am. Parvala, ma'am, like that they will say. And they do not want to come out of that thing. So I have some, when I meet those women, when I'm telling them, come, learn tailoring, I'm giving you free coaching, come, you learn, then you can stitch from home. I said, Venda, ma'am, they don't want to work. So what have we done wrong? We're not empowering a women. Empowerment itself has become a choice for them. They don't want empowerment. So again, that's exactly what was irking me, and I'm working on that for the slum that I'm working with. So that's why I was asking that question. So then coming back to the main crux of the topic, how do we project plan? So conception and inhibition. Here, the initiation of the project is completely based on not just, oh, I want to teach tailoring, let's start a tailoring unit. Because I had some Rotary Club members who came the other day and said, ma'am, let's start the yellow plate pandrathu pannalam, ma'am. I'll buy the machine, I'll put that. They brought the machine, they put it there. None of the women said, plate pandratha, adu edukku? And then none of them came. I said, so if you make 100 plates, if you just have to press it, you will get this, you will get so much money. They don't want it. They're saying, adala vandam, ma'am. So only if it is glorious, if it's something that they really enjoy doing, only then they're doing it. So just simply thinking, okay, this is good for the society, let's just do it. Better than that is to actually understand and completely, before you start your project, actually identify the community, like I told you earlier, identify who is going to benefit by it, and then empower the woman accordingly. So even if it is the KPIs, that is the key performance indices of that particular vocation or training that we are going to give, or that education that we are going to give, whatever it is, what are the key performance indices when we are executing this? Who will we tap? Are we talking about young adults? Are we talking about married women? Are we talking about older generation? I recently, there's in our community that I work in, there is a daycare center for the elderly. So they come, they sit and they watch TV and then they go. So we bought them a good TV. They come and sit there, and if it's raining too much, they'll come and sit there in bigger huddle. They'll play Dayakati, they'll play all that, and they'll use. So I used to go there in the afternoons, and there we give them a meal, because they're all living with their sons and daughters, and their sons and daughters don't give them. They're all working, so nobody gives them food. So some birthdays, some death anniversary, somebody comes and donates a little money, they get. So we get them biryani, or so we get them something, whatever they like that. We get them a special meal. So during those special meals, I usually go there and I sit down and talk with them. I tell them, this thing. So whoever sponsors, I take that there. And I told these ladies, see, I have lots of wool in my house. I know that Chennai doesn't need knitting and all that stuff, but children can wear during the November, December. So shall I teach you knitting? They said, அதெல்லாம் என்னம்மா நீங்களே பண்ணுங்க. Literally they told me, அது நீங்களே பண்ணுங்க, அது உங்களுக்கு தான், அதெல்லாம் யாங்க யார். I said, இல்ல, நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஒரு 50 ரூபாய் ஒரு நாளைக்கு கிடைக்கலாம். I'll give you 50 rupees a day. You just have to do so much of work. You're sitting here for 6-7 hours. Why don't you just knit? And it's good for your hands, arthritic hands and all that, to reduce your arthritis. I will teach you, even if you can do small amounts. Even if you get 20 or 30 rupees also, you will get one good meal. No, why can't you all do it? They said no chance. Then I tried bringing pie madirudhu. Sari, ningala ukkarringa veetla pudu pie venum, pongal varudhu, yaradu vaanguvaanga, neenga vaanga pannunga. They said no chance. I said, illamma adella. And then when one day I got them a good meal, they had that, yellow sapad one day, really nice, somebody had donated some money. So they gave them a full yellow sapad for them, and they had great fun. And so the person who was there, who was working, said the madam herself, it's a part of her friend's circle or something. And I said, no, it's not my friend circle. It is one of my work, my clients who got success, and they came and gave this. So in the thank you note, the old lady was telling, she said, Maharasya irma, unakku nalladhu varatum, unakku nalla rich clients. I can't tell in Tamil so much. So unakku nalla panakara clients ah varatum, avangallam periyavanga avatum, appoda engalukku saapadu varum. So I was telling them, neenga yen appadi yosikringla, neengale idella you also can get. Why can't you? I will get you that if you do this thing. And they were not willing to do it. So they don't want empowerment. They're happy in their comfort zone. So true empowerment comes from the motivation, from the psychological pull out of these people into the real world, into a working culture, into a civic culture that says that we have responsibilities, accountability for your life, wanting to do something for society. I think those should become the true aspect of a project. So now here I can show you the 5 stages of project. Where does all this fall in? If I'm talking about the psychological input of project planning, where does it come in this? So look at it very carefully. We know the scope, the budget, the work breakdown schedule. So when we are identifying and planning and defining our project at the definition stage, when we are going to communicate our plan to whoever, whether it is our donor or whether it is to our own beneficiaries or the stakeholders within the particular project, it is there that we have to decide that whatever the project is, it has to be the true empowerment of woman is when they become proactive to it, when they are motivated for it, and they believe it will, they are all becoming change agents by accepting this plan. It cannot be that they are doing it on their regular basis, on their normal lifestyle. It is not going to. You must realize that the project planning is to make a difference to their life, and they have to believe in that change. So the 3 most important aspects literally are the factors that they will have to become change agents. And that is empowerment, where they take responsibility for becoming and wanting and processing themselves towards that change. So then you can track it. Then you can check it. So when you're tracking, when you're writing your project report and you're writing, this is what it is, and this is my plan, everything. When you're making the assessments of when you want to find out what the key performances aspects will be, please add whether they have sustained interest, whether they have sustained motivation, whether because sustainability is not about whether your project is getting fed by or having enough money. Your project is a success and it's sustainable only when the beneficiaries are continuously motivated, are continuously going to come back and use the kind of thing that you have planned for them. So it's not just enough. I did on many social workers I've seen, and even the many clubs like your Lions Club and your Rotary Club, they all do good job. But what do? That particular thing, oh, we gave 50 sewing machines. But that motivation to up their act is what is true empowerment. So when you write the status and you track it, and when you make forecasts, like that is the 3rd stage, launch and execution. At that stage also, please factor in the aspects of sustainability related to the psychological aspects of true empowerment. Then you will do performance and control, and you're going to check your activity. You're going to see whether your activity is really working. You will put better effect, less effort, more effort. You will change things around. All that when you do, and when you check performance is not just about the product that you are trying to make or give them, or the money that you're going to give out, or just the profit P&L papers that says that you got more profit out of this particular activity, or somebody got more money out of it. That is not the only criteria. Please check performance from sustained interest, sustained motivation, and growth mindset. The individual learns that I can choose, I will become better, and they become, only then it is true empowerment for a woman. The final project, closing the project, or that your project has escalated to a level that it's going to work forever, whatever it is, there you're going to do a post-mortem. You're going to check, what is my project like? Here too, please, whenever you're going to, what have we seen when we have this vote of thanks, and when we have not vote of thanks, sorry, when we have annual day programs, and then we say, this is our report of the year. All social workers, we report, we had so many camps, we had so many this thing. We truly deep down somewhere see who are the same characters who are coming back. Have they upped their status? Have they become better with regard to their emotional status? Have they become better as what motivational status, their what intelligence, the information, the knowledge, the sustainability, all those aspects, has it changed for those individuals there? Have they continued effort? Did they drop out in between? Did they come back only for the money? All these, when you do a postmortem, please make sure and project the punch list. The punch list should involve not just bare facts and tangibles. It should also have intangibles and an explanation of the intangibles, so that the crowd realizes that it's not just money. It's not just, so you're, even the next generation will realize that success is not just money. It is about something more important, which is a decision making power, the power to choose things, the power to, and if when you do that, then they are, whether they fail or they succeed, they know that they are responsible and they can change. Otherwise, what do? We blame everybody else, and we make other people, we give too much energy to other people's words, that they said that they don't want it, they won't allow me to, and they will crush. We are crushing the woman's ability to even think outside the box and do something different. So in your reporting, I request all of you to think about this particular aspect. And the final, just to understand, just to go through all that in your parameters, when I just said this earlier also, it's just a nicer slide. So I just wanted to share this with you. Recognize the risks and quality protocols. So understand what is the quality. So I have a lot of women who came to our program, they started the program, and then when they had children, they stopped the program. And then when did they come back? They came back when their husband started beating them while they were pregnant. They're saying that now they don't want me anymore. Husband has left and gone for another wife or whatever. And the wife says, now I'm coming back for the program. And suddenly she realizes she's not as comfortable with the job because things have become better. There are people who were not so at that time, who were in a lower level of her learning or training or something, have become better in the last 6-8 months or 1 year. And then then ego strikes, and I don't want to work like this. Why you're giving me less salary? But our thing says that, if you haven't done the job, if you don't do it in a particular, there's a target and we can't give it. And then it becomes like, no, they start arguing with you, fighting with you, saying that they were there before. But all those aspects is because they did not realize the quality protocol that is required for a particular job or for the project that we are planning. So how do we keep that quality? How do we explain or communicate that quality required from each one of them? And quality, making them make quality pieces, as in a determination for excellence is empowerment. A determination for excellence. I'm not saying it is a ranking that you are first rank, I'm second rank. That will make a lot of confusion. But I am capable of this kind of a particular activity that I can do. Supposing I'm making a cloth bag. My cloth bag, the stitch will be like this. I'm not telling I can make 10 bags more than the other person. That is, again, that is debatable. Time, your thought process, your speed, all that is different. But when I make a bag, this is the quality I will deliver. This is the way I will do it. Neat, so I'm upping my skill, not just my output. And that somewhere makes you comfortable. So he was asking a question whether when will this woman be satisfied? When will she be happy? We have to teach them to balance stress. Now, stress is something, I want to define stress as an answer to his question. Stress is what we perceive as pressure for us. So in psychological counseling, when there is unexpected stress, unexplained stress by the individual saying, I'm stressed, we redefine the stress for them. We make them see the positive aspect of what is happening around them, and we redefine stress so it doesn't stress them anymore. This is what happens to our body. Our body understands certain way that our face moves or our hand moves, and the brain tells, oh, I'm happy right now. So when this is your expression, the brain considers it to be happiness. So when you see something stressful happening around you, the way you look at it and you say, Ayyo, when you say that, the minute you say Ayyo, actually, there is a rush of a different set of neurotransmitters and hormones, which will tell your brain, oh my God, this is stressful. And your eyes dilate, water comes to your eyes, your hand starts trembling, and everything else falls in place, and you are not in control of it anymore. So if you want your women to be stress-free, or to be able to face stressful situations, you have to tune them to a positive attitude and not frighten them. So it's a complete different kind of cognitive thinking that we have to bring about in the women, in everybody around, actually, to accept stress as a challenge and say, oh, this is difficult, not, ayyo, this is difficult. It is, oh, this is difficult. So what do I do? The brain gets a different set of answers when you say, oh, rather than, ayyo. and then it becomes two different things. So working on that is one stress aspect. The second thing you asked, second or third thing that you asked is, how will they be able to manage life, balance life, etc., etc. Difficult when you have a child that is a special needs child, especially. But if you have a normal child, routine and support from the environment. So I'm saying environment, I'm not saying family, I'm not saying the infrastructural things that are there. We have to have a know-how of what is, and technology is amazing. I'm a working woman. I've been a working woman since my children were very small. And when they were I made sure that I was there whenever they wanted me. And I made sure that I took that much time off. I came back, and technology really helps you with all that, because now you can work from home, you can work from the office, keep your children in a creche nearby, go and visit them. It's all up to the woman to decide how much time she spends with her work and how she can balance it, how hard she can work. So it's about a routine. It's about setting time for each and everything. And you cannot say that quality over quantity. I'm giving quality time. Quality time is a joke. It was quantity time, and every quantity, whenever, how much of a quantity you give, that has to have quality. If you give lots of hours without quality, it is not going to work. So it's quality always and quantity also. So it's not about I'll give quality time. I mean that 1 hour I will come and say, oh yeah. And the rest of the time the child is sitting in the phone. It's useless. So there is a holistic aspect of stress that affects the woman. So quality time, the stress itself, the quality of stress should be understood by the person, and they're able to change that. And if that becomes happy, if that becomes, you're tuning the brain to say, this I can handle. There's a beautiful quote that I read some time back. Oh Lord, let there not be any problem today that I and you together cannot handle. I cannot handle, a lot of things will be there, but I and you together. So our trust, the faith, you have to build that in the child and in the woman right from the beginning. If that faith is there, if that hope is there, if that grit is there, if the perseverance is there, if the resilience is built, there will always be the right answer in the brain that will be able to tell the individual who's going through the stress, this is okay, I can manage. I will be able to. Everything in life is stressful. If the current goes now, it is stressful. If suddenly if I hear a huge lightning sound and the thunder sound, I will be stressed out. It will naturally become a stressful situation. But do I know, if I know the response to it, if you've trained the individual, if you've empowered the individual to tackle that stress, that is true empowerment. That is more important than, because nowadays education, is it just knowledge-based education, skill-based education? I have learned so many things in the last 2-3 years from the net. And at my age, when I've never touched certain things, I have gone in and learned it, and I've mastered it. And my technological skills are very low. So with the basic technology that I know how to handle a YouTube or whatever, I have managed so much. Why can't the next generation do it? So knowledge, when you say education, is education equal to knowledge, or is it also emotional intelligence? So are you teaching them some information, or are you giving them skills? So I want to conclude this session by saying that empowerment is not just completing your project that you plan, or you're looking at the individual and saying, oh, she needs so much money, I will get her to become the next level, whatever. That is not the criteria. The criteria is, I would like to sum it up by saying, grit, perseverance, resilience, and above all, happiness. The ability to be able to see the fun in everything, the joy in everything, to sail through life with a smile. And that, I think, is true empowerment. Things will happen, things will go wrong, people will come, and we've seen so much of death in the last 2-3 years. We've seen so much of sorrow in many families. But did they rise back? That is true empowerment. Did the young girls who lost their fathers say, no, Amma, don't worry, I will, just give me 1 year, just give me 2 years? That is empowerment. In the 2 years, what will you do? How will you get back your family into the mainstream of life? How will you move back? That is true empowerment. And that is what I believe is project planning for women in the urban setting, of the empowerment of women in the urban setting, in today's urban situation. It's not just teaching them, it's not just giving them awareness, it is building them emotionally, mentally, giving them enough mental health aspects such that they can move on to a higher level in everything, their emotional level, in their economic level, in their financial level. There's always every day there is an improvement. That is true empowerment. I hope with that I can sort of stop sharing and open it out to questions. Anybody who wants to ask a question, please do. Oh, there's pin drop silence. Hello. I can't see anybody either, so I feel like, I'm talking to a blank screen. Yes, Mary ma'am. Mary ma'am is the only one who's talking. Mary ma'am is the only one who is interested in my conversation and my topic. Is there anybody else who wants to ask questions? Or was it so boring that all of you went out to sleep? Video off பண்ணிட்டு அப்படியே போயிட்டீங்களா எல்லாரும்? TV பார்க்க போயிட்டீங்களா?
Hello,
What
hello
happened?
ma'am.
Yes, Mary ma'am, tell me.
Actually, no, it's very interesting to listen because I'm continuously listening past 2 years to webinars and all. I get very interacted. If any, I don't miss any session unless
Good
I'm
one.
really busy.
Good
Otherwise,
one.
I don't
Tell
miss
me.
the 5 o'clock, every day 5 o'clock session is there. Any session I love to listen because we take a lot, there's a lot of takeaway from it. If we listen to somebody, their
Yes,
experience, we can learn lots, and that too
Yes, yes,
somebody
yes.
who's experienced person. Many people don't listen. If
Yes.
you listen, no, more than talking, if you listen more, you can develop more
True,
in life. That's what
true,
I
true,
learned in
true.
my MSW.
Yes,
That
yes.
that is but you're very, very informative. Lot of knowledge generated, ma'am, from you.
Thank you.
I
Ma'am.
experienced lot.
Please, Shruti, very emotive. Thank you, Shruti. Anybody else, ma'am? Thank you, ma'am. Mary, ma'am. You have a question of any sort? Anybody who
No.
has questions?
Actually, I want to know about your foundation. No, so in any way I can help you. I can do help from Bangalore.
Oh, wonderful.
Because I have friends in Chennai. Because I had come from my friend's heart transplant. 2 times she has gone heart transplant. We had come to Chennai, Mugaper, Dr. Cherry and the Frontier Lifeline.
Yes.
Yeah, so for Chennai is our next town, hometown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So now also after she's gone for US to take rest with her sister. Second transplant was in 17, and now recently in October she went through endometric surgery. She's gone to take rest.
So, Mary ma'am, we'll talk about the aspects of your life and how you can contribute to my organization. Definitely in private. I don't think the others want to know that. So we will talk about that in private. Definitely, ma'am. I will definitely seek your help because yes, Bangalore is a sister concern for all Chennaiites. I also have a small little setup in Bangalore which I can use.
Very informative. I don't have any doubts because
Thank you.
I jotted down points. That's what I was
wonderful,
listening.
wonderful.
I don't speak when till the speaker finish. No, I'll be writing. I love the more than typing in computer. I love to write.
Very good.
That's what my MSW has taught me.
Yes. Manjusha, you're saying no to what, ma? You're saying that you don't have any questions. Is that what the cross against your name means? Manjusha, can you unmute yourself and speak why you said no? Are you saying no, I don't like you? Is that what you're trying to say? Manjusha, are you there? Manjusha? Manjusha, can you hear me? Okay. So Sunanda, Hemalata, Dr. Hemalata, Nilesh Panchal, Shruti, thank you for the nice comment that you have made. Thank you so much. Rupali, Manisha, Dr. Shankari Sridevi, please tell us, at least in the chat box, what you think or what you feel or any aspects that you would like to convey to us. And if there are no questions, then we can close the session. If there are questions, I'm ready to answer them. Please do unmute yourselves and speak up. So Saravanan sir, did I answer your questions? Mr. Saravanan? You asked a few 3 questions. Did I answer your question or do you want more?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am satisfied.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any other
Thank
people
you,
who
ma'am.
want any questions to be answered?
Ma'am,
Please. Yes.
your organization run about in Bangalore, ma'am?
No, it is in Chennai. It is called Sitara, Sittara, Sitara. Sittara, Sitara. You can follow us on Share with Sitara is our Instagram handle. And yeah, you can, if you go there, you can see that. Okay.
Welcome.
Any
Welcome, ma'am.
other?
Welcome.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Anybody else who has any questions? If there are no questions, then we can call it the end of the session. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Dr. Ravindran. Thank you, sir, for the kind intro that you gave and accepting me as a speaker. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening today. Can we end the session? Yes, Manjusha, you unmuted yourself. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, ma'am. She has a query. Can you explain details about project management with example again?
Who are somebody you're asking, sir?
No, Manjusha.
Manjusha is asking. Okay. Project management with examples. Okay. So when we talk about project management, we're talking about what project we want for. So I trying to identify what are the aspects that we need to look at for project management. So when you say project management, we had that slide there that showed you the 5 stages of a project. So for each of those stages, I'll have to go back to the slide, Manjusha, if you have to understand that. Only then the explanation will be better. You can contact me alone if we'll go back into the slide and we can do it again. Now this will be a repeat of everything that I said. So in the project, there are 5 stages. Okay, so for each of those stages, you have to identify the woman in that particular stage. Like say, for example, you're initiating a project. So let's say that we want to start a new kind of education. Let's say it is tailoring, or we want to do digital marketing. Now that's the big thing right now. So if I want to do digital marketing if I think that is what will help, so I initiate it, I write out about it, and I go out and tell the women there, okay, come for digital marketing. This is your job opportunities you will get. So what do I need for that? So I will write a P&L, meaning I will write up the budget for it, and I will say that this is what I want to have. I want to have so many computers, and it should have this. So we write the details there. The third stage would be that we actually implement it and we execute it. Like we call them, we put them in, and we give them the syllabus and we start working with them. Now, when you actually teach them how to do digital marketing, etc., the last 2 stages will be empowering them to actually go about taking a job in that particular job. How will they how will they use it, or getting them the job and putting them on Naukri.com for that particular thing, or teaching them how to freelance as a digital marketer, etc., etc. And finally, in the last stage will be that we see that they are into a job, we get them into and sustain them. And so you get a feedback now and then, you go and check on them, you follow up with their needs, and you get them to do it. So that is the usual 5 stages. Okay. So what I was trying to say, that is the normal, every social worker learns these stages and we do these stages. But these stages are not enough is what I was trying to convey to all of you. These stages are the technical base structure or the base outer structure of project planning. Okay, when we are planning a project, this is what we have to see. And that everybody, if you just go to any consultant, if you just go to a senior, or you just come, like I consult for a lot of little NGOs who want to do a project, or any student in the DG Vaishnav College or any college, the MSW students say, ma'am, I want to do a project. They come and implement it, and we guide them through these 5 steps. But among these 5 steps, while they are doing it, what I have realized, it still doesn't become empowerment. It becomes empowerment only when we realize that we've given the woman the motivation, the interest, and the sustainability to continue this particular project, to be wanting to do it, and ultimately to make a choice that she does it in what way, and she is able to up her or improve her particular emotional status, her own educational status, or whatever status she is in. If she's able to go up to the next level, only then does it become true empowerment. Okay, so the main crux of today's topic is project planning for the empowerment of women. So it is not just about project management as such, it is about the empowerment of women in the particular urban setting. Okay, so Manisha, I hope you understood that. Is that clear now? Is it clear now? Would you like to put a tick mark, Manjusha? Or you want to still say, no, I didn't understand? If it is like that, Manjusha, feel free to call me. My numbers I can easily share, no problem. So please do, you can easily put it up here at any point, and you can ask, and you can come to my, and we can guide you, we can consult and give you all the information that you require. So I'll just put up for everyone in the meeting. I will put my number here. 9940245662. So Manjusha, is that okay? Are you happy with the answer, or do you want to don't you want to keep the cross and say that down, 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 ma'am? I didn't understand anything. Is that what you want to tell me, Manjusha? Okay. So I think, Manjusha, you should definitely pick up the phone and talk to me, and I will probably explain to you how exactly, if you have an idea, we can help you develop that and make it a project that is a success. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? So, Dr. Ravindran, would you like to check with Manjusha if she's okay with the answer, or should I just continue?
She has some network issue. I think it should be fine.
Okay. I've tried explaining it the way I thought of it, but if there's any more questions, please feel free to ask. Anybody else who has a question? Totally respect the aspect that you want to understand better. Anybody?
Feel free to unmute and ask or put in chat box.
Yeah, you can put it in chat box. Sure. Thank you, Shruti. You're making me embarrassed. That's fine. Thank you so much. Promitha Das has just come in, so I hope you heard what we had to say. So I don't know. Anjana Mishra, Manisha Pradhan. I hope you have no questions. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Actually, I think it's indeed need of the hour. Like these sessions, we need to have on women empowerment, especially through project management and related concepts. So I think maybe we can take it up in detail if required at any point of time. So thank you, ma'am, once again. A lot of appreciation in the chat box for the session. So, and we thank you once again for joining us, and look forward for more sessions in future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much
again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank on behalf of Sri Holistic Health Foundation and Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing, and also on behalf of all the participants, and we wish you all the success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I think we can leave.
Participants, kindly fill up the feedback form. It will be raised in the form of polls. Feedback form is mandatory for receiving the certificate. So we are launching the feedback form in the form of polls. Kindly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. Thank you. Dear participants, feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. Everyone kindly attend to the feedback form. It is mandatory for receiving certificate. Within 15 working days, the certificate links will be updated on the webinar website. You can visit the webinar website and select the date, appropriate date of webinar. Below the webinar flyer, you will be having the certificate link. Below that, you can check after 15 working days. Generally, that is the maximum period, but it can be updated anytime as per the availability and other aspects.